Welcome to the Bloom Show, brought to you by Above All Flowers and New Bloom Solutions. I am Sahid Nahim, your host. This show's intention is to help the flower industry innovate, connect, and bloom through building community and sharing information cross-sector. Today we have a special news alert or news update special, a post Mother's Day, and we're trying to do every post Valentine's Day, every Mother's Day. And this time we have Arnold Wittkamp, Chief Futurist of Thursd, which I love. Chief Futurist, get that. And he has 35 years in the flower industry, and he's coming to us from Holland. And then we have Joost Bongaerts, which has sorry, I have to say it, like toast, Bongaerts, which has 42 years in the flower industry, CEO of Florabundance, and also a big influencer and advocate for that flower feeling. Again, this show's intention is to help build community, and we ask you to comment, like, share, do the little subscribe button and the alert key. But right now, while we're talking on the show, comment, ask questions, chime in. It's the best part of doing these shows when you all chime in. I do want to say a special thank you to our sponsor for this show this week, which is U.S. Greens Corp. They've been providing specialty cut greens and specialty cut flowers since 1988, and they serve their customers the right way. It actually says they serve their customers the right way. That's what it is. Yeah, they pride themselves in serving their customers the right way. So please do check them out. And throughout the event or the episode, I will be showing their website, so you can go check them out. But again, thank you to sponsors like that help this show and make this show possible. So without further ado, help me introduce to you Mr. Joost Bongaerts and Arnold Wittkamp. Hey guys, nice to see you again.
I see it.
How are you, Mr. Arnold and Joost? How's it going today?
It's going. It's raining, like rain in California, drizzle. Other than that,
And what's the weather in the Netherlands?
At the moment, it's great. They expect to have a really hot day tomorrow too. So it's been dry for over a week. So that's something special for the Dutch weather.
Got it. So to do a little, formal introductions, Joost, do you mind introducing yourself? Who are you? What do you do? And what's your company?
well, I'm from the Netherlands originally. I used to say I'm from Holland, but Holland was rebranded, so it's now the Netherlands. Um, Been in the flower business for, you mentioned, 42 years, and came right out of school. Worked in Michigan for Dutch company owned by the flower auctions to open up flower channels in the U.S. And that was in 1981 for Sierra for in Livonia around Detroit. Anyway, and then I moved on and lost my job after a year because the marketing group was closed, and went back to Holland. And then I was hired to sell flower bulbs to growers in garden centers. Did that for 10 years. Met a lot of growers in the cut flower industry, and that was the time where roses were changing, leaving the U.S. for South America because it was too expensive to heat. And then I opened also a flower shop for my wife, Bon Fleur, still in existence, Bongaerts Flowers. And I was a customer of Florabundance in California. We were buying flowers here. And someday I said, it'd be nice to have an anchor out there. So I got more involved with Florabundance and the shareholders, which were 5 growers, and eventually became a partner. And then, in 2008, and changes were going on with the financial markets, as you know, and the flower industry changed too. And I became a full owner of Florabundance and have moved into special events and weddings as the business changed. We ship to florists nationwide overnight, and we do that all from one location here in the middle of where flowers are grown in California. Where 75% of the production of flowers comes from. And so we have been doing that and continue to do that with a great staff. I have a crew. Some of them have been here for 25 years. and it's a great team we work with, and always look for something new and work on technology to get the flowers faster to people, our customers around the country, which are a lot of event companies, florists, and resorts as well.
Great. And how about yourself, Arnold? I know everybody knows you, and you too, Joost, but it's just good just in case for the people that are just chiming in, tuning in.
Well, I discovered my love for plants already very early. When I was an early teenager, I was going visit garden centers to buy plants for my little room at home. I started to work at a floating flower market at the city center of Amsterdam when I was 15. I went to university, studied economics, only to find out that that was not the world I was wanted to be in. Not a banker or nor a lawyer or anything. So I opened my flower shop. Um, from there, I went to work at the flower auction. Worked for a plant wholesaler. I worked for an import-export company. I've been busy selling flowers and plants to florists for a long, long time. Um, about 10 years ago, I started to work with scented garden roses. That was the time before they really came into fashion. And we built a company in the Netherlands importing and exporting David Austin roses and scented roses from different breeders like Mayan, Del Bar, Cordes, and Tantau. And we found out that flower shops didn't really know they existed. And we had some troubles convincing the traders and the wholesalers that they should sell them, resell them for us. So we
Mhm.
did a lot of effort to target florists directly, finding out that there's a huge gap between breeders and growers and what floral designers are seeking for. And that gap I'm trying to fill with Thursd, which is a kind of online floral platform. At the moment, we have a kind of online magazine, and we're trying to build it to something which enables people more to really connect to one another. And that lies in the future. So I'm busy with future stuff. And,
Futurist.
and that's why my title is Chief Futurist. When people talk to me, they always say, this Arnold guy, he's living in the future. Um, it's of no use today. And that's true. So we do some advertising and we do some communications, which we have huge audiences with her, so that works well. But I am really with my mind and with my head. I'm in the future trying to build something sustainable.
Certainly. And you're building something really, really cool that I hope to talk about one day on the show for sure. So
Yeah.
exciting, exciting
Yeah,
news.
yeah,
So let's dive in again, everybody that's listening. Joost is representing California, and Dutch is representing the perspective out of the Netherlands and Holland, and maybe a little bit of Europe. So I just thought it was a cool dynamic to bring two points of views from across the pond and across the world from both sides of the world. I get to hear Miami stuff all day, but California is a little harder to get to, and Holland as well, obviously. So let's chime into the first question: did growers experience any challenges in meeting the demand for flowers during Mother's Day season? And if so, how did they address it? Yost, if you want to take the question.
Sure. Yeah, I've talked to many growers we purchase flowers from, and all along the state here on the West Coast. And the from January to April, we had very cold weather, and actually continues to be cloudy. We're just coming out of May gray, but we're rolling into June gloom, as we call it. That means along the coast, it's moist and cloudy, foggy, sort of Dutch weather, Arnold, in the winter, and so we're looking for some more sunshine to get crops more in on time. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but there's a lot of good news about Mother's Day because the growers had plenty of product available. There were a few shortages on like local grown stock because there was not enough planted, or some field crops were late due to the excessive rain we had earlier. But good news is we're out of a drought in California officially now, which is amazing. Who would have thought? So that's only good for planting new fields with flowers for the field grown stuff. But overall, the growers didn't have too many challenges. Orders came in, pre-orders came in well. Prices were a little bit higher than last year, not much. But customers, I've been told, didn't complain. They needed this stuff, and Logistics went pretty well, getting it to their customers around the country, and it's the same for us. And so overall, it was a good Mother's Day.
So you give it what, two thumbs up or a thumb and a half, or what do you say?
Well, if we compare, everybody talks about 2019, the way we were, I call that. Then we had 2021 and 22 last year was, for a lot of people, a record year. So if you go by last year, and Mother's Day is late this year, was May 14th, so that helps a little bit with the crops. People didn't expect to go over last year's numbers. Some did. Bottom line is, I think overall it was flat, because if you take in the inflation rate we have these days, if your sales were up 5 or 6%, and you calculate in inflation for higher prices and stuff, number of stems sold may be same as last year. And I've talked to some good-sized wholesalers around the country. We share some information. How did it go? And everybody said it was good. Labor is, of course, expensive now, especially overtime and double overtime. So costs are high, but business was good. And it's great to see that people were buying flowers and continue to buy flowers, because after Mother's Day, it got busy. That means people have to restock, refill. They had a good Mother's Day and sold out.
And how are they dealing with the situation of higher employment cost?
Well, you just have to watch your numbers. So you have to watch what it costs to do packing, shipping. You have to look at everything, and you constantly have to adjust. We get all these. We import flowers as well, so we get fuel surcharges or a holiday charge. I don't know what you call it. Some of the names are quite creative, but the bottom line is it costs more because it's going to be busy. And so I always talk to my team to make sure we have our pricing correct, our margins good. So we are not doing this all for nothing, where you find out later, hey, we didn't do as well as we thought we did. So it's very important to watch your cost, labor cost, including overtime, and work that in your margins. So
Thank you.
constantly adjust.
And then how about yourself, Arnold? So you want me to repeat the question, Arnold? Or you got
No,
it?
no, no. I'm totally fine now. After in the winter and end of the winter, everybody was really scared for this time of year. Remember, because many production sites had cut back roses because of the energy prices, and we all expected to have a huge amount of supply end of May, early May, beginning of June, around that era. So I remember the time in fall, winter, everybody was scared for this season. But what I hear, also depending on who you talk to, what kind of crops they have, East Africa was in the weather not very bad. We hear from people that they sold really good. The prices were reasonably good. Um, Roses were lagging a bit behind. The peony season was late because of the cold early spring weather. So in the end, what we hear here is that it was a good Mother's Day. It's not bad. Prices were not very high. They basically rose after Mother's Day. So everybody thought they sold well during Mother's Day. That's what we hear. Um, yeah. Um, what I also see that's from East Africa, there are a lot of, in Europe, a lot of flowers nowadays. They come from Kenya and Tanzania. Um, and the weather was a bit rainy, so there was some less supply, but overall, I think everybody was quite happy. And when you compare it to the expectations we had at the end of last year, it was really good because everybody was really scared that the prices would drop.
So it was in California and in East Africa and Europe. It was pretty balanced. It was pretty leveled.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Margin Part today, who is
Okay.
a big summer flower supplier with
Yes,
many
sir.
farms in East Africa. They really had a good Mother's Day, um, and that's the Solidago, Eryngium, Hypericum, Clematis. They have this assortment. It's not really fillers, but it's not the main flower like the roses. And for
Yeah,
the
it's
rose importers, it was nothing special, but they're not complaining also. So, and when
good.
growers are not complaining, it's kind of good.
Yeah, so
That's right.
we're in a good place. So that's great news considering that we had that rush with the pandemic we'll call it, and now we're kind of leveling out, but we're not going down, right, guys?
Right. That's the good news.
That's good news. So we have
Yep.
a couple comments here. I've been holding them for a minute, but we have Jenny Stewart saying howdy from Houston. We have Sergio saying, great to see Sahid sharing insights from Miami. It's always insightful to learn from Post Mother's Day Insight. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Sergio. And then we have, hello, Sahid, Joost and Arnold. So that's San Francisco.
I wonder who that
Pretty
is.
sure it's Jeannie Bose throwing
Right.
out some shout outs. So shout out to Jeannie Bose.
Hi, Jeannie.
And yes, two old guys with lots of knowledge. Arnold's my age, dude. You're like, or a little older. So don't be aging us, David. Arnold's maybe 5 years older. I'm not going to call you out, Arnold. I'm not going to say my age. But so, were there any changes in consumer buying behavior or preferences this Mother's Day compared to previous years? Were there any more consumer bunches, more bouquet? What was the vibe
Well,
out there?
I've talked to, I don't deal with supermarkets or big chains, but I have some growers here that do. And they said that consumer bunches were selling well. Um, some of the supermarkets were cautious with their purchases because they didn't know what to expect after last year. So they had to scramble to get more at the last minute. For the retailers, I think it's safe to say that the good retailers have increased their pricing, adjusted it, looked at their cost of goods, and sold quality flowers, looked for quality flowers. And so the retail prices that I saw were quite a bit higher. But the customers, the consumers, like to buy quality and get a good value. So if you go out and purchase something from mom, I mean, might as well be good. Excuse me. So that's I see that trend continuing. But I like to say, be great if we get into more weekly and daily sales. And seems like the supermarkets, where everybody goes at least once a week, are doing a great job and reaping a lot of benefits from various advertising programs that are going on.
Were there any items that sold a lot more than others out of California? Yost?
Um, Well, I think there was a lot of demand for stock, and there's not that many growers. So we even had to import some from South America, which, to me, certain flowers we never imported before, like sweet peas. There's demand for those, and there could be more growers because some of the growers, boutique growers we deal with, sold their land to other companies who grow, other crops like cannabis. That was a few years ago, so and we're feeling the pinch. But I think it's there's signs that some of these things will come back because I constantly get the call, "Hey, what should we grow?" So give them a list and give them some guidance. But overall, people love roses still. Lilies seem to be doing well. Stock, but items like sweet peas and miscellaneous bulbs, flowers, tulips, of course, sell very well. And we get a lot of domestic tulips through various growers here in California, like Sun Valley. They have a beautiful program. But we also buy a lot of the varieties in Holland because you can't get them anywhere else. The newest, latest, greatest, double, you name it. And that's what we do, and our customer asks for that. So
Fantastic. Arnold, what about yourself? How did Holland and Europe look when it came to consumer buying habits?
Yeah, if you're talking cut flowers and plants, it's a bit different. So what I've
Okay.
heard about flowering plants and the green plants, demand compared to last year has dropped significantly. So it's much less. There are much less orders at supermarket levels, and you can also see it when you visit supermarkets, where before you could see that when they get deliveries at a certain day, by the end of the day, all was mostly sold, and now you can see that they last to the end of the week before the new delivery comes. So you see there's something happening with the risen prices that people buy less plants and flowers in the supermarkets, and there is less supply. So I think it's still balancing on a kind of an equilibrium where everybody is still kind of positive and gets the price they want.
Hmm.
Um, Talking to breeders like De Ruiter, who is in touch with many farms all around the world, they see that there still is a good demand for high quality flowers. There's a huge competition in the more standardized retailer flowers. Um, but still, I was kind of happy what I've heard. So we were very anxious last fall. Now it turns out to be quite okay. So yeah, there's no bankruptcies anymore, and so it looks good. So everybody's quite positive. But I think we're on the brink of an economic collapse. But everybody is still happy. So
We're good.
fingers crossed. And I think when Joost keeps on doing the good work with the
The
flower
flower
feeding,
feeling.
and we as an industry, as a global industry, we're going to work hard on doing collective marketing campaigns. I think that's something we desperately need. Talk a bit less about footprint and the sustainable stuff, and a little bit more about how flowers are super good for you. Making sure you have an answer if somebody asks about sustainability issues. But yeah, I think I really believe that as an industry together, as a global industry, we should really work harder on spreading the message on how flowers and plants can help you be more happy, be more positive, be more productive, be more healthy, etc. I think that should be the message we should all convey, and then we can even survive an economic collapse, because then we need plants more than ever and flowers.
Because it's a psychological recuperation. Yeah, 100%. It's the therapy to all the stress. I have a quick question here from my partner, David Kaplan. More, or not, I guess a statement. More mass market business for Mother's Day and inflation, better price point seem very important on quality flowers. So he was just making a comment. So I have a question that it wasn't on our question sheet, but Joost and I kind of spoke about it before we came in, and it was a question that I asked last year. And now that you're here, Arnold, it seems interesting because you could give another side of your perspective as well. But marijuana growers, right, Joost? So in California, when we last spoke, marijuana growers came in, they bought up some land, so there was less land. So what's an update right now when it comes to that? Are they still buying up more land? Are they buying less land? Are they looking to get into flowers now? Can you give us an update?
Yeah, I can give you an update. In the past 6 weeks, I've had 4 inquiries from growers. These are sons of Dutch flower growers who settled here in the days, and they asked me what they could grow, what crops, because they're thinking about starting to grow flowers again. The reason is, I've been told there's been a big shakeout in the pricing of cannabis, 80% drop in prices in the last 2 years. It's coming back a little bit, and don't ask me what a pound costs these days, because I'm not in that business. But bottom line is the shakeout, as we call it, gets private equity firms and outsiders, investors out of the business because they don't see return on their investments after 4 or 5 years. So we see some collapses here in the area, and then the greenhouse has been all fixed up, latest Dutch technology, of course. And then they go like, what are we going to do now? So I said 6 years ago as a joke in our Cal Flowers meeting,
Remember.
let them fix all these greenhouses. Maybe we'll get some flower growers back eventually. Because if you see the amount that's being grown here, and then there was a big article in the Wall Street Journal in the last months stating that the state, California, I'm speaking for, first of all, every state is allowing cannabis growing. We have a beneficial weather climate here with the Mediterranean climate. But the bottom line is a lot of stuff doesn't go through normal channels. There's a huge underground market now. And that's a problem because the state doesn't get the taxes they were expecting. They tax it, by the way, I think 55%. So you know what happens. It always finds a way. But the black market is bigger than ever, and it's a problem. But it's nice to hear that we have some growers renting up these greenhouses. that become available and are looking to plant flowers. And so we go through a list and say, hey, how about this and this and that? Not just grow what everybody else grows, but come up with something that we can use. Great Lysianthus here in California. We have to bring it in from Holland. It's beautiful. The best growers are in Holland. Newest, latest varieties like those,
Yeah.
coffee colored varieties. But it
They
needs,
are, and they are very, very expensive here at the
yeah.
moment.
Well,
Because
we
there was a
just
huge drop because it's one of the most, it's the more warmer kind of way to grow flowers. I think they need 26 or 28 degrees.
exactly.
And so that's a very expensive thing to do nowadays with the high energy prices here. So,
Yeah, and
it's a huge,
we're bringing in some miscellaneous flowers, as I call them, from faraway places because we can't get them locally. And I'm not talking about what you see at your local farmers market. That's all good, but we need more than sunflowers, and we need more than what's grown, just across the border in Mexico where it's warm and they truck it in. But we need a variety of flowers for our customers who are, into high end weddings. Need a variety of flowers that people see on Pinterest. They ask for it and they go like, "How come you don't have it?" So that's why our slogan is everything under the sun, but it should be almost everything under the sun. I think I mentioned that before. But yeah, hopefully to get back to your original question about the marijuana is increasing. I think it's decreasing at the moment because of the market forces. But it's great to see some interest, renewed interest in growing flowers here along the California coast.
And how about yourself, Arnold? Is that the same? Is that ever going to happen in Holland where there'll be more production because of more land or, farms
uh,
come in or not really?
so what we've seen here for the past, I think 20, 30 years, that many growers are moving away from the Netherlands, basically for the high value of the ground itself, because the Netherlands is a really small country, the high energy costs. You also see in East Africa, for example, that people who are used to produce pineapples, they go into the production of normal, simple roses. I heard a
Hmm.
story that they just planted four four hectares, I think it was, to get some more cash flow because the flower business, of course, is a quicker cash flow than a pineapple.
Hmm. Yeah.
And many the the amount of ground which is being used for cut flowers in East Africa mainly is rising all the time. So, and it's decreasing here, it's decreasing also in Germany, in France, um, Italy, and Spain. Before Mother's Day had really, really bad weather, so there was almost no good production from there, which also helped the prices in general. So that was not good news for the Mediterranean growers. Peony season from there was really late, almost as late as the
Wow.
Dutch season. So now all the peonies are coming uh, together. So depending on what the weather does, it can be a really short season also.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that might be good news for the how do you say, Alaskan growers, who are a bit later again.
Hmm.
Um, so it's always, when you talk to growers, it's always
Yeah.
the weather, and it's the weather. And
So that's why
This is Mother Nature.
that's why we should get. I mean, we love the holidays. Don't get me wrong, but Valentine's Day, we have stress with snow around the country, moving stuff up the coast from wherever, and flying stuff around the country to our customers. Cold temperatures. I think climate is going to be the dominant factor, and this year we're going to have expecting another wet California winter. So it'd be nice if we spread the floral consumption to more daily and weekly. You know where I'm going, Sahid. That's what that flower feeling is about. If the whole industry helps with the campaign, contributes, even a floral designer can participate in the campaign so we get the word out and increase floral demand for daily and weekly consumptions. We'll still have the holiday stress, but at least for the growers, every grower I talk to, yeah, I missed this because of the holiday, just like Arnold was just referring to. So if a crop comes in after the holiday, it should still be sold and get out of those peaks a little bit, and more steady years around supply is good for the entire industry.
Yeah,
A hundred
yeah,
percent.
yeah.
One final question. What is the outlook for the flower industry in the coming months following Mother's Day? So how's the summer looking? You know, in the US we kind of slow down, people go on vacation. I saw an article that there was much more travels this year than last year's. The passport offices are packed. People are traveling, and with more travel out of the US we get less sales. So how is that looking for Holland, for example? What do you guys expect for the summer?
Me?
Yes, yes, sir.
I,
You, Mr. Arnold.
I think it's just as any summer. It will be a bit slow. Many people on holiday. Flowers for the wedding season will do fine. We have to look forward to September, October. What's it going to be? Um, I can keep talking about the collapse, which I'm expecting, but I've been expecting it for a long time now. So until that, I think people are just going to buy flowers. We expect what we expected last year is that there will be a huge rise in supply
Yeah.
pretty soon.
Okay.
They're very
When that collapse that you're predicting or kind of seeing coming, you think there's going to be a huge supply,
I
availability of
think
supply.
I think there will be too much supply for the demand
Okay.
globally,
Yeah, 2008.
and and that will be another shakeout probably. So I think the businesses who are preparing today to be a sustainable business are going to survive. We also have the footprint and the CO2 thing here. That there's European legislation coming in 24 that every big company has to know its own footprint. That basically comes from the larger retailers, the supermarkets, the IKEAs. They want to know what the footprint is. So many businesses are now spending lots of money to calculate their footprint. The growers who are not doing it, they want to supply the larger retailers will have some difficulties in the future. So there are a lot of things happening. Um, Huge extra costs in people. It's very difficult to find people. The gas prices are really high. Inflation is through the roof. Um, I'm a positive guy, so I think.
You just give the facts, right? You just give the
Yeah,
Right.
facts.
and I think even I think we should really, as an industry, should all support the flower feeling, also from the Netherlands and from Kenya, from South Africa, Australia. I think we should all embrace this initiative because I really think that could help us all. And we saw it with 2020 when COVID came, was a huge disaster, which only lasted for 1 month. And then everybody started to buy flowers and plants for their self-care, basically, because
Yeah.
that's what it is. And so I'm really would like to have everybody contact Joost to sign up for the flower feeling because I
Go
really,
to that flowerfeeling.org. It's
yeah,
painless. You can sign up. There's a barcode you can scan. There's no excuse. And all those companies that are thinking about it, sitting on the sideline, now is the time to do it so we can start funding the new campaign, which we like to do, refresh the assets, as they say in the industry. But
And if I may say, a part that really entices me, and I think that it needs more awareness needs to be had, and hopefully we can get some out here, is that they have free content,
yeah,
right? So they have great, not just free, great high level content. You can go to thatflowerfeeling.org and you could, correct me if I'm wrong, Jos, you can
Yep.
download that content for yourself to use on your socials, to use on your content, to create. Jos, do you have a That Flower Feeling shirt with your logo on? No, right?
Maybe where's your T-shirt, Sahid?
I have it
Yeah,
somewhere. I should have
has the
worn it. You're
Florabundance
right.
logo
You're
on the
right.
sleeve. It's
I
very
use it.
powerful.
I use it almost every other day. I promise
You're
you.
sold out. You're going to
But
second print.
it's a great opportunity to get free content. Small wholesalers, free content. Small retailers, free content. Dive in, use the content first, even before you decide to donate. But the free content is worth everything. And that's a way that you could help get the word out on That Flower Feeling.
Well, I use the word participation matters. You know, if you believe in the floral industry, you want to grow your business, even an individual designer You can donate $20 or don't go to Starbucks for a week or something. Send that money. It's automatic. We have a lot of great companies from Holland and the U.S. and South America, especially Soca Floors is on board. We have a lot of work to do, but it's coming along. And I just wanted to say something. You asked about how's the summer look, Said.
Yes, sir.
I think weddings will continue, but we always see a little bit of a slowdown when the summer heat arrives, which is soon. A lot of weddings are moved to September, October. October is our second busiest month in the industry, safe to say. The craziness is sort of calmed down that we had a year ago and the year before, where we had so many weddings, which is nice for our staff, our employees. So you get a little bit more of a normal cycle because there wasn't any break. It was nonstop busy, which was great for business, but it's not sustainable for long term. So we're going to continue to serve the industry with high quality flowers. We're picky what we buy and where we buy, and continue educating our customers on how to use these flowers, or suggest something else when something is not available. And we buy flowers all over the world. Of course, we're heavily involved in California grown or American grown, because that's what we have been doing for so long. And we just hope that there's some more quality variety of flowers being planted here in the U.S. It makes life a little bit easier. And we've got the greenhouses now all built up. Just a little crop change, shall we call it? And the flower prices are higher now, so maybe better for a grower to grow certain flowers that they didn't grow before because of the return wasn't there. But I'm upbeat about the industry. Yes, we'll get issues, and there's been talk about a recession. Gas prices are still sky high. There's a lot of problems in this country, a lot of problems in the world. But people need to stay sane, so they might as well buy some flowers. It's good for your mind, good for the soul,
It's healthy.
and so go buy yourself some flowers.
It's better than a bag of chips.
And,
it's better, it's
yeah,
much better than a bag of chips. But I had one last night. I'm on a diet, but I had a bag of chips.
and
So
let's unite the industry. Not say this flower is better than when it comes from there than from here, or we need to promote all flowers through all avenues to all people. We only have 300 million plus people in the U.S., and they should buy flowers on a regular basis. We'll have a nice problem on our hands because we can't fill the demand.
yeah.
That
So
will
David
sort.
Kaplan has I think it has to do with what, and sorry, sorry that I'm covering your face there, Arnold, but Colombia and Ecuador, there you go. Colombia and Ecuador are up this year 16 and 25% in rose exports to the States. Some of that is Russia and Ukraine. Some is the rest of Europe, and then some is because of more productivity and COVID not being as much of a factor. As buyers will let you do the math, listen to Arnold. And he says that it's better than a bag of weed. But by the way, or not a bag of weed, so it's not better than David. So, guys, gentlemen, always thank you for volunteering your time, your expertise, your information, and especially your time, and joining the call. And it really means a lot to us to share the information, to keep the industry connected and share both perspectives. So, any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, buy more flowers,
There
stay
you go.
positive, stay
All right. And how
positive.
about yourself, Arnold?
See you at the shows.
I just published my own blog on Thursd about why I think flowers and plants should be on the list of primary human rights. Think about
Talk to
that.
me. Okay. Talk to
Well,
me.
have a look.
All
It's
right.
going to
Hey,
be
look at that. We
on the
got a plug
homepage.
here. Where can they find that?
Yeah, it's on Thursd.com, Thursd.com. And if you go to content in the menu, it's already there. It will be published on the homepage and in the newsletters next week. But I also like to basically put some effort in making sure that people understand the power and the magic of flowers and plants.
Cool. I hope to see that, and I'll share it on my LinkedIn as well. But go check out that article by Arnold himself on Thursd.com. I think it's a pretty cool topic. You caught my attention, so I love the fact that you're not sharing anything more, just so we can go check it out. So you're an expert, Arnold. You know what you're doing, man.
Get some more traffic, you know.
Yeah, of course. It helps your customers. So Joost, Arnold, thank you so much again. Hope to see you guys soon. I'll be at Flora Expo at SAF, so hopefully you guys will join. If not, see you at IFTF.
Yes.
Sahid, you're welcome to come to the Central Coast in California sometime. You know.
I've been thinking about it. I know that you isn't Cal Flowers doing a members thing on a Saturday?
Yeah, that's in August. I
Okay.
believe it's August 18th. Otherwise, ask Steve DeYoung. He will know. We're
Gotcha.
doing a little baseball member get together.
Yeah.
Networking. I think it's 2 days. And it's at the San Diego. What is it? The Padres. I'm not a big baseball guy, but it's fun.
One of my favorite shows all time has been Fun and Sun. So anytime I get to go to California, I'm in. But again, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to put you in the Bloom Room. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. So there we have it, the post Mother's Day report-ish from Holland and from California from two Dutch guys. So I think that was kind of cool as well. So thank you to everybody. Again, a special big thank you to US Greens Corp for sponsoring this Bloom Show, this special edition of the Bloom Show. Thank you to Joost. Thank you to Arnold for sharing your expertise and your insights, and thank you to our audience for being here today, for commenting and chiming in. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Super important, a little alert key as well. And if there's anything we can do to improve our show, we want to hear from you. So don't forget, the show's intention is to help the flower industry innovate, connect, and bloom through building community connections and more information, putting it all out there. Thank you. Have a great day. See you next time.